Hello. In today's presentation, we are going to look at setting growth rate targets. Numerous studies have shown that heifers calving for the first time at 24 months of age have the best chance of achieving their full lifetime potential in terms of fertility, milk yield and longevity. Heifers need to calve at 24 months of age, but they must also have adequate body size. A heifer needs to calve with 85 to 90% of their mature body weight. The mature body weight of cows is when they're in lactation 3 or above. If heifers don't have adequate body size at first calving, they will need to continue to grow to a greater extent in their first lactation. This requires putting more nutrients from their feed into their growth, which will come at the expense of their fertility. Heifers that are too small at first calving tend to have poorer fertility in their first lactation. Small heifers at first calving will also be at a higher risk of having calving difficulties. Therefore, ensuring heifers are big enough at first calving reduces calving difficulties and also benefits their subsequent fertility. If heifers are to calve at 24 months of age with adequate body size, they need to be on the right growth curve from birth and throughout the rearing period. The first target to aim for is to ensure that calves double their birth weight by weaning at around 56 to 63 days of age. The next target is the size and age of heifers at the time of first breeding. To calve at 24 months of age, a heifer must be in calf by 15 months, so first breeding needs to start at around 13 to 14 months of age to allow for more than one service per conception. At first breeding, heifers should be 55 to 60% of their mature body weight. In the example on the slide, the mature body weight of cows is assumed to be 660 kilograms. Therefore, at first breeding, heifers need to be about 360 kilograms, which is 55 to 60% of their mature body weight. Assuming a birth weight of 40 kilograms, a heifer needs to put on 320 kilograms before first breeding to hit the target body weight. This equates to a daily live weight gain of 0.8 kilograms per day, every day from birth through to first breeding. It is important that growth rate targets are calculated for individual farms based on the target age at first calving and the mature body weight of cows in the herd. We will look at setting targets based on these two key pieces of data, the target age at calving and the mature body weight of cows. In this example, the farm have a target age at first calving of 24 months, so heifers need to be in calf by 15 months. Therefore, first breeding needs to start at 13 to 14 months of age, or 395 days. The mature body weight of cows on this farm is 600 kilograms. Therefore, at first breeding, when heifers need to be 55 to 60% of mature body weight, these heifers will need to be around 330 kilograms. Now we can calculate the growth rate required up to first breeding to ensure they're 330 kilograms by 395 days of age. Assuming a birth weight of 35 kilograms, each heifer needs to put on 295 kilograms over 395 days, and this equates to a daily live weight gain of 0.75 kilograms per day. In addition to calculating growth rate target, it can also be useful to calculate target body weights throughout the rearing period. Then, every time a heifer is weighed, it is much easier to quickly determine if individual animals are on track. As an animal is in the race on the weigh scales, it is then easy to ask the question, has it hit the target body weight, yes or no? The figures calculated in this table are based on a mature body weight of 600 kilograms, and the target percent of mature body weight is then given at different time points throughout the rearing period. So the target body weight throughout the rearing period can be calculated for individual farms based on a mature body weight. It is recommended to weigh calves at birth when it is relatively simple to capture a body weight, and then to weigh them each time they are handled. Weigh scales provide the most accurate measure, and if set up correctly are the easiest and quickest method to use. But if weigh scales are not available, a weigh tape provides a reliable estimate. Whichever method is used, it is important to be consistent. Measuring body weight using weigh scales or a weigh tape is important for two reasons. Firstly, it highlights if heifers are achieving the target set. If they're not and they're falling behind the target set, it will allow changes to be made to ensure they reach first breeding with adequate body weight. It is no good getting to the point of first breeding and realising then that heifers are not big enough, because by then it is too late. Secondly, a survey in Northern Ireland found that farmers tend to underestimate the body weight of heifers. As seen in the table, at breeding, heifers were estimated to weigh 378 kilograms, when in fact they weighed 438 kilograms. This underestimation delayed breeding. Delaying breeding increases the risk of a heifer putting on body condition score and getting fat, which can have a negative impact on their fertility. It is important for a heifer's fertility that as soon as they reach the target of 55 to 60% of mature body weight, that they are bred, getting calf, and then on their way to first calving. In summary, to ensure heifers calve at 24 months of age with adequate body size, we need to firstly calculate and set body weight and growth rate targets based on the mature body weight of cows in the herd. Then, the only way to ensure that heifers are on track is to measure and monitor using weigh scales or a weigh tape at regular intervals. Finally, if they're not hitting the target set, the system needs to be managed. This may be through the nutrition, health or environment to enable heifers to hit the target set. Thank you very much.